May I join more important and experienced people to thank Dr. Mohan for the excellent work he has done in publishing the various papers he referred to. Secondly, I might add, the impression that seems to be given as though diabetes is the only cause for people who cannot live or can live beyond 100 years. I, for one, may humbly say that the variety of problems a human being is sometimes has to undergo, and the several doctors who have to look after you. I might also add that 30, 40 years ago, we had general physicians who attend to all varieties of complaints and look after you. Today, I just cannot get a good general physician. Everybody keeps going to specialists, and they get very good treatment, no doubt. Secondly, I might make a slight funny observation. What is the purpose in living for long? I must say, reading the newspapers in particular, that as you grow old, there's no one to look after you. The children are all going everywhere, etc. I, for one, am very lucky in many ways, but still I'm making this observation that growing old, wanting to grow old, I'm not sure it is worthwhile. Because physically, you will suffer pain, etc. And emotionally, you have other problems also. But so long as you are alive, you must look after your health and go to people like Dr. Mohan to get treatment. Other treatment for cholesterol, blood pressure, etc., which I am also going through, that you do. But nothing like meeting Dr. Mohan for his diabetes complaint. I wish him long life. May I also add that my association does not stop with Dr. Mohan. Early 1970s, I know his father, Dr. Vishwanathan, was to be in Royal. My wife and I gone to him, taken his advice. Outstanding doctor he was. They were making the expression now. And his son can also claim some part of that importance which his father had. He's been but actually Mohan has become international figure. I'm very proud that the name is given to India. My wishes to him for long life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm glad you brought up my father. 1970, I was probably 17 years old. So you can see, we always used to say there is a joke about a cardiologist who went in a later vein. A cardiologist saw a patient and then he told him, this actually happened. This is not a made-up story, it actually happened. The cardiologist when cardiologist came and saw the patient and said, "Appa, நீ இன்னைக்கே போயிடுப்பா, நீ இருக்க மாட்டே, ஃப்ராங்கா சொல்லிடுறேன், வில்லெல்லாம் எழுதுறேன்னா எழுதிடு, இன்னைக்கே நீ போயிடு." சார் இன்னொரு 2 நாள் முன்னையா, இன்னைக்கு ஈவினிங்குள்ள நீ அவுட்டுப்பா அப்படின்னு சொன்னாரு. 10 வருஷம் கழிச்சு கார்டியாலஜிஸ்ட் ஃபியூனரல் இவர் அட்டென்ட் பண்ணாரு, பேஷண்ட் அட்டென்ட் பண்ணாரு. சரி சொல்லுவாருன்னா, இதெல்லாம் நாட் இன் அவர் ஹேண்ட்ஸ், நம்ம கையிலே கிடையாது. Somebody above us decides. Doctors only treat. God only decides to cure or something like that, and the humility that we learn from saying. So now I'll ask Mrs. Akama Krishnamurthy to say.
First, let me congratulate Dr. Even scientifically, I think we are lagging far behind research work. I'm happy that Dr. Mohan has brought out so many papers and have been published in other countries in other papers. And as about me, until 70 years, I thought my body was so good. I didn't need any doctor, I didn't need any medicine. Suddenly at 70, my son told me, you have to take blood sugar, blood, all the tests for insurance. I said, no, I have never gone to a doctor, I don't want anything. He said, no, unless you take this, you cannot insure. I cannot insure for you. So I said, okay. Then I had the blood test done. Then suddenly I realized I was diabetic. That's the first time I came to know about diabetics. After that, 5 years I thought I'll manage by myself, doing exercise and diet. At a certain stage I felt you do eat sometimes little more, better to have a control. Then I come to Dr. Mohan's after that. From that time till today I've been coming regularly to Dr. Mohan's. Every 3 months, doctors have been very good, very nice, cheerful. So my thing is I walk 40 minutes every day. Even today morning I walk.
You're okay.
And I don't just sit down. I work for Andhra Mahila Sabha. I go there, visit all the units. Plus, if I don't have any work, I read. Otherwise, I help in the kitchen also. I iron my clothes also. I just don't want to keep myself, feel lazy and keep myself. I think that's why I'm able to keep both mentally and physically fit. And one more thing I would like to, I think whoever is diabetic or not only diabetic, any other person, any ill person, even normal people, please don't allow stress to control you. You control your stress. That is more important. I am very, very careful about it. Even something worries me, I tell myself, forget about it. Just go ahead. That's the way I have been. Thank you, Dr. Mohan.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are asking me to talk on this subject. I inherited diabetes from my father. In those days, 60 years ago, technology was very much underdeveloped. Those days we used only insulin injection. We had a protamine zinc insulin. I used to give the injection to my father. But then he lived quite long, 74 years in those days. It's quite a long period. And then I had a suspicion I am also getting the diabetes around 60 years. I started checking it up. And then the general physician and all that are not so good. They are not specialists. So after 5 years, I came to Dr. Mohan's lab, where for the last 25 years I am coming here. Very systematic and comprehensive tests are done. Advice is given very well and all that. So it is under good control now. I have certain things like my habits are very good. I don't smoke, I don't drink alcohol. I am a vegetarian, so that also helps me maintain my health. Another thing is, as Dr. Mohan's advice, we have to do exercise. That becomes much more difficult with age. I am not able to go for a long walk in the last 1 year. Before that, I used to go for a mile and come back and all that. Now I am not able to do that. But still, my diabetes is very much under control. I could see if my blood sugar goes up or down. It doesn't go up. Generally, it goes down in the night. So I immediately know that. I put some sugar and some drink, orange juice or something, and then bring it up. It goes to 60 and all that. I could realize that I have this problem. So I have been very careful about that. But more than that, I'm not able to come every 3 months. I'm able to come every 6 months. And I get a systematic examination here. The doctors give me correct advice and I follow them. Still some problem is there, serum creatinine, slightly higher. I think I have to find out how to control that. I'm taking Saladol or some tablet capsules I'm taking. But still I think I have to bring it down, the serum creatinine level. Otherwise I feel quite healthy and all that. I thank Dr. Mohan for doing this great job for us. And finally, I would say, Dr. Mohan advises us that we should live beyond 100 years. I have my own doubts. We should not live beyond 95 years. Okay, thank you.
You should all live up to or beyond 100 years for the simple reason that you're all role models for others. I'm very humbled by the fact that probably not many institutions in the world can have a function like this, where we can call people above 95, make them speak, publisher, then they'll say, oh, 2-3 cases and publish a paper about 325 patients, show you how it is. The mantras which I had laid down was not after talking to them. That's why I just wanted to know whether my learnings from my patients matches what they've said. All the 3 have said exactly the same. Don't smoke, alcohol, avoid or cut down, exercise regularly, reduce stress, be reasonably strict about diet. We didn't talk about, I never touched one seat in my life, so that's what people are afraid of. ஒரு ஸ்வீட் சாப்பிட்டா செத்து போயிடும். No, nothing will happen. சாப்பிடுங்க, but do it very occasionally. Okay, so people have lived to tell the tale. Okay, but the control factor now is coming twice a year. That is enough. இப்போ வந்தா போதும். Already we have crossed that time. But in earlier stages, coming for checkup is very important because ilana we don't get a chance to see you. We don't get a chance to correct. If it goes out of control, it will remain out of control. That is the reason I am saying, come. So, korchilla. Because the disease is one of progression. Chumma vittata poidum, mela poidum. It's not going to keep quiet like that. Disease, edir nature solluvan illaya. The sea will pull you into. If you have to survive, you have to swim the opposite the current and then come this side. Otherwise, the sea will pull you in the opposite direction. It's like that. The disease will pull you and go. The moment we start fighting the disease, we stay afloat and nothing happens to us. Even with diabetes, it doesn't matter. In fact, because of diabetes, we may do better. Because it is forcing you to come for the checkup. Sugar paakaram, BP paakaram, adu paakaram. Today, just now before coming up, one patient came. Paatha already urine la blood irukku. Okay? He didn't know blood irukku. Immediately paatha or stone irukku. Ultrasound panna stone irukku. Then normally that stone would have left alone. But blood போறதுனால his hemoglobin has started falling. Kidney கொஞ்சம் வீங்க ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கு. So I said, sir, நீங்க உடனே போய் அந்த கிட்னி ஸ்டோனை பிரேக் பண்ணுங்க. நிறைய ஸ்டோன் நாங்கள் விட்டுருவோம். பட் திஸ் கேஸ் பிளட் வர ஆரம்பிச்சிச்சு, வீக்காக வர ஆரம்பிச்சிச்சு, ஹீமோக்ளோபின் ட்ராப் ஆரம்பிச்சிச்சு, இதை விட முடியாது. யூ கோ கெட் இட் crushed. இந்த நெக்ஸ்ட் 2-3 days போய் பிரேக் பண்ணுங்க ஸ்டோன். He came for something else. சுகருக்காக வந்தார். வரும்போது இதை கண்டுபிடிச்சு அதை ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் பண்ணிடுறோம். ஸோ நாங்கள் we are not even doing it here. We sent him off somewhere. நீங்கள் இன்னொரு இடத்துல போயிட்டு பண்ணிட்டு கிளியர் பண்ணிடுவோம். இல்லைன்னா உங்கள் கிட்னி போயிடும். Because இப்போ வீக் ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு. Next time you come, your creatinine will go up. Sir, instantly your creatinine with age will go up. Don't worry about creatinine. Once you cross a certain age, all parameters will not be normal. You cannot expect like a 30-year-old man's, 40-year-old man's nerve function or creatinine or liver function. With age, we give allowance. Allowance varum. That is normal for age. Like drying of hair. Skin will become bald, skin poidum. That is normal. For age, it is normal. At 20, you cannot be like 70. Okay? Or 70, you cannot be like 20. So, those are all normal. As long as you look after yourself and as long as you're able to do it, then everybody can be with them. This message must spread. I am proud of it that from India we have done it. Our Prime Minister says, make in India, make in India. This is making in India. We are making in India and showing that Indian treatment, what we are giving here, with the local things that we have, all the facilities that we have here, we are able to show the world that it is possible. What US could not do, what Germany could not do, what UK could not do, which Sweden or Finland could not do, which the rich Arabian countries could not do, we have done it in India. Okay? For that we must be proud. And all that we do, nothing more magic we did. Basic, simple rules. Follow the basics, back to fundamentals. அது பேசிக்காக ஃபாலோ பண்ணால் போதும். பெரிய காஸ்ட்லி இவங்கெல்லாம் when they started the treatment, we would not even have had all these new drugs. இப்போ வந்துருக்கு லேட்டஸ்ட் காஸ்ட்லி ட்ரக்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கு. 5 வருஷம் தான் வந்துருக்கு, 10 வருஷம். They would not even have seen it. அவங்க லைஃப்ல I don't think any of them are even taking it also. Okay? Despite that, they've been able to do it. Yeah? The medicines that they are taking, metformin, what do you take? Some Coans for BP, sugar can glycomet.
I take glycomet.
Glycomet la 50 paisa, 80 paisa.
Same glycomet from that time.
அப்பத்துல இருந்து.
500.
So she has not used 50 ரூபாய் மாத்திரை, 100 ரூபாய் மாத்திரை எல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ண. 50 பைசா மாத்திரை. அப்போ 10 பைசா இருந்திருக்கும், 50 பைசா இருக்கும். அவ்வளவுதான் டிஃபரன்ஸ். அதை வச்சுட்டு தான் they think. So it is not the cost of the treatment, not அவ்வளோ காஸ்ட்லி ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் கொடுத்து எல்லாம் இருக்காங்க, மற்றவங்களால ஏழைங்களால முடியாது, ஏழைங்களால 50 பைசா மாத்திரை எடுத்துக்கலாம், அது கூட ஃப்ரீயாக கூட கிடைக்கும். If you go to government, you'll get free also. Okay? So it's not the cost, it is the regularity, it is the discipline. இது ரெண்டும் இருந்ததுன்னா long and healthy life is possible. You can live up to 100 as possible. எதுக்காக சொல்லியிருக்கா, one has already crossed. Cross பண்ணாம சொல்லலை. We didn't hold the press conference until that person crossed 100. He has crossed. Others are not far behind. There are many more in the line who are going to cross 100. So very soon we'll be able to show you a group of people who have crossed 100. But that hope must go to people. People must get the hope that it is possible. That is what this press